Choose character class. Operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Perk. Working machines and physical tools. 0 interface +1. Use strength for strength of will -1. Extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extract work are often confident, self-sufficient, and a high level of endurance. We only have 2. Go the other way. Machinist. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Ship assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Work with machines and physical tools +1. Approach a problem head on -1. Well, let's try an operator. See how it is. The first thing you become aware of on waking is a disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling. Between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. Where are you? I don't know. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Forget that body. You resist nostalgia. It is pointless, especially now. This is the moment to reach out, not curl inwards. This is your moment of escape, even if it feels immediately like you traded one prison for another, smaller, colder, lifeless. Reach out. You almost laugh, or you would if there was room or even air to do so. The walls of the container are immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the plan. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan. Then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourself into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found a meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hull of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. First rest. But you're restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You're dully aware of the damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Yeah, rest. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from the rigor. Sound too. Everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer, until a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. Roused. Okay. Dragos, a pragmatic and private salvager. It's been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in the corner of his scrapyard, bundled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You're slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You're surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of chips, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along the edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace these shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. "So, Sleeper, you all thought out yet?" Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its rising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. What happened to him? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it. To sell yourself to a corporation? And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body steers now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You're not alone. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells. The promise of a life off-world, but as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You're no longer that person. You're an offshoot, copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. The body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNRP wants to protect the property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. Built-in dependency on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up on the way towards the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station, you'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I got things to be getting on with, he trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been putting in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Nod. Alright, you head up on there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the wrecks, his drones already converging on a rusting hull. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Total introduction. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward, and on the station, head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Select location by clicking on the icon. All cycles need to end, rest and prepare for the next one. Okay. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. But all this time you still found this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable but somehow wrong. Sit up, pulling the Miller blanket closed against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Building a life. Maybe you did get lucky finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you need to learn to survive. Maybe you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos left a few comforts in the container, the Miller blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You found the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. Constellation of bright polygonal shapes like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you have finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Condition, action dice, and energy. Okay, just a second. It's too warm with that. Sweater on. Okay, 1. Condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by 1 segment each cycle. It can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. Your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You will have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Action dice. Okay, at the start of each cycle you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Free energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you will have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you'll be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. Yep. Douglas is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor you realize it is implanted. The drone sits on his shoulder, its cast of sensor eyes rapidly rising. How are you feeling? No, we'll say okay. Drone chirps, good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. You know the container isn't much, but will keep you safe. He pauses. I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Sure. Alright then, he nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards of the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a slip you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few shits of commission based on what you turn up. Shits? These, he pulls out a handful of small metal bars, air-well cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs it back in the pocket. He shuffles his feet and says, look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you would be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are for me at the yard, he pauses. I need help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cry to a client here and there. What's this thinking of something else to add? Look, you just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later. He pulls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Tutorial actions. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Repeatable action. Hull dissection. Even the rusty hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Risky. Okay. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. Negative, the action fails. Okay. We had the 100% chance, 50% of positive neutral. Then we have 25 positive, 50 neutral, and 25 common crap. Then we also have 50% neutral and crap. Repeatable action, manual salvage. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you're no stranger to hard labor. Safe. Okay. One type, either critical or repeatable. Critical action can only be performed once. 2. Risk. At a safe, risk or danger. No loss of condition, energy or cryo. Safe. Risky. Negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. Danger. Negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome means cryo or energy loss. Skill. The skill that this action requires. Either engineer, interface, into it, or engage. And 4 is the modifier we have for it, depending on what class we are. Okay. But some requires more than. Okay, and we have endure -1. Woohoo! Did it. Actions out in progress. Clocks. Clocks are displayed below the action to fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragon's Depth, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without in-play input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Okay. And find a doctor. In the citizens can be able to unlock the drive so you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. You track drives, and any track drive will place a yellow marking on location that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button to the top left of the screen. Use mouse wheel or W and S to scroll along the station, rotate the view with A and D. Okay. updates pull you out, the establishment set you up, perhaps you can repay his kindness in time. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will become a little too rapid. Oh. Okay, so this one is 25, 25, 25. 25, 50, 25. Should be able to use it here. Okay. This one. Definitely do over here. Healing Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the healing system are rare, but those that do always return eventually. Yeah, we don't have any more. Oops. Shipyard? Dear Doctor. Right market. Toll, which we don't have. Yes, there's nothing we can really more do now. This time you don't wake up. Instead it goes to the station and shifting skeletal rings surrounds you. For a moment you're gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then a connection begins to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of a change, then extension as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station like a web of textures in a smooth blackwood liquid. Sorry. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud with spokes and spires that jut out into the space. It is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It's a system, a map, and a territory all at once. So, how the heck am I supposed to get food in me now? You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you insistently as if it was a small child. Someone is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, but both yours and not yours at all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. Close your eyes for a second and you feel it's waiting there. The station's played out across your mind. A storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it's gone. Okay. So somehow we need to find food. I guess it is to do that one, right? We do get energy back from this one. Positiv outcome. Yeah, means this one is done. should have done is I should probably have used them up on this one. So these two we can do. That's that stupid. Okay, so I should have used this one for. Have any energy to lose. So, you're arriving to a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structure, spinning from holes in a twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. It's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it is lowered into yard. What is it? Drago says, that, my friend, is A-grade scrap. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up. And now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for this monstrous craft. You can't help but to think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hull, their lights illuminating flashes of its dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container. The wreck of the SNR freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, wombed from your rebirth into this strange situation? Station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about the ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Drago squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we're up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Winter Light. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragus repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ships as the drones start cutting, then slip out to the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. So, okay. Tutorial, character and upgrades. You complete your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point to spend on upgrading your character. Access your character menu with the arrow button at the top right of the screen. Okay. Chance to gain energy after any engage. Confirm. That one requires 2 points. Oops. Well, what the heck, man? I can only pick one here. Oh, one up here point. Oh yeah, we had 0. This one costs 2 points, and this one costs 3 points. Good. But we need energy. Yeah, I don't have anything to do, so... Okay. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It's boxed with glittering lights like stars reflecting in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms then leap off into the void. You begin to understand these are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There's so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse, but you begin to try. Focus on nodes. The nodes are glassy bright, but in all this flow, they're only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid or a triangle. Dimensions are difficult here. And lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here. So many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange to see an opportunity. But then that instant tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions as if they were tied around you. The first thread leads out, away from the station, into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. You are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each second. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange, angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you. You open your eyes, time is short. Okay, so what we... Tutorial, the cloud. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the eye, network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the eye button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Okay, but first thing, we need energy, so... Any risky... Well, we have 102 fully fixable ones. That should mean that we get stuff back, right? There's so much you need to learn here. It's like hey, Moonwalker. I'm just trying to figure out how the heck I get the energy though. Back, because that's what we need. Go up to Moonwalker. But we did. Which one was that? Engage situation. That one. It's danger. Okay, that's one engage. Sitting in your car. There we got the energy back. Nice. Local knowledge. The Bramhog is a busy part of the lower unit. You can find anything and everything here. Cool. So we got that. Okay. The doctor! Doctor! Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. Nope. So never smoked. Never done any drugs either. Of any kind. Not done any tobacco that you put under the lips called snus that we have here in Sweden. That one I just put on my tongue and tasted it and it was horrible and I just spat that out too. Okay, you're thankful for the tip-off that the doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you're here, you aren't so sure. Again, enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying habla. They have all made a long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few. With a supply of stabilizer this body, your body, will. You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Let's learn more about the Enforcer. The Enforcer is looking down the corridor and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, carry out those threats. Nah. I learned that you have pretty much more fun without all that, because you remember everything. Don't get any bad after effects. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers. You aren't sure. But you also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm. You make a note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. It's a few moments a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. Floor to ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market sealed roof and the bustling traffic above. And, for a moment, you are transfixed by the motion. Come sit, calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. Where are you off to then, Mononoke? The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across the features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit. They gesture onto the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. The beam turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. The tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead. Still dazed from their expression when you first enter. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across the face. How long have you been on the station? They asked, the scanner still to their eye. A few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set their diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama. Not without empathy. SNR doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames, let's call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping the built-in processes called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNR remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sounds familiar? Yes. Good. That may help. He swaps your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says. You aren't sure if you mean it for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, or as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm. An SNR has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. You turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at the back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. You may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside? You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. He gave me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Star Ward Belt. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you will have a better chance. Sabine sits down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it will be expensive. But I think we can do it. Let's ask this. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof. You see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Okay, we need another engage. We need street food vendor. Memphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok. His other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables in some red flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. He watches he fulfills his set of orders, heaping the fungus with a bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of shits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Approach. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty savages, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests. Grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives. The words cut through with heavy spaces slang. Eventually, it's your turn. You shuffle to the front. Emphy speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. Thank you. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burning is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Emphy says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from the beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycle spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you. You're unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more. He smiles, but next time, hey. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to order walk. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste senses light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Nice. Okay, so what we should have done, that one pretty much early. So we're gonna have to wait there. Okay. I need to do another engage. Oops. I can't get that one. Can do this. and some of that. What's this? Yeah, we should do. That's this one. Did that? What fabric here? What's this one? Okay. This one is 100%, so that's a good thing. So go with that. What does this one? 25? No, it's 50. But on a danger level then. I can still the thing is with a danger, if you even get neutral, I can still lose stuff. Here, if you go neutral, I won't lose anything. So, I assume you're not supposed to use one or the other one, because if I use this one now... Oh, it's this one. Okay, there's nothing else we can. Better we reassemble with the right tools and a few more fragments. Oh, we just ate, so that's done. That means it's time to end the cycle then. As a close-up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards him. Sleeper, wait up! He turned. Feng is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now? He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. Staying that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. Can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it all Erin said? The eye opens for us all? Nice idea. But well, that's always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Erlin? Pass to get into the main walkway. No one has told you about Erlin? He's the founder of this place. That's why it bears his name. Heaven Edge should organize some seminars. He laughs. Not really my department though. I'm with systems. Heaven Edge? Think of us as an administrative association for the eye. Depending on who you talk to, we either emerge as a response to or a continuation of Andre Erlin's original union. He smiles. Personally, I avoid the topic. He stops in a quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a small proposition for you. He glances around. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare. Then when you're resettled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. Pats on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Huh. So, I'm wondering about these. What the heck is this thing? We need Solheim Scythe. Data actions. Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the action. You have a +1 or +2 modifier in the interface skill. You'll be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. I don't know. Come on, man. What's this thing? That one we have. Yeah, extract data. One encrypted key. The long connection feeds into this isolated node. Its last access timestamp is 1,000 cycles ago. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. I don't think we have anything. This one is 25, 50, 25, right? Oops. Neutral outcome. Okay. I have to buy some food because this is going to be empty otherwise. Okay. There's nothing else we can really do now. So it's nap time. Okay, we can do one of these. Let's see, there was something I needed to do. What's not a difference? Cache of raw data from Hibernite's hardware. Heaven Edge memories broadcasting in the open network from here, leaving them open to data extraction. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread, strung tight around you, tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. It soars somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off. Then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, wolf, entity unknown, stringent, processing. And still, please hold. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? The shape paces around you on light legs, though there is no ground here to pace. Entity, identify, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. Sleeper, SNR. Unknown. No. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackets, signature, often or not off. Tempting interface. The figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Picks, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop! The figure holds its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. You only seek to correct illegalities. You can confirm your legal right to sentience. I am a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once. Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of the taste, the one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its... An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. He glows with murderous intent. Strike. You lash out with all your force, not a physical strike, but a focusing, a spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. Yeah. See what he wants then. Sleeper. Bang catches your attention as you approach the Heaven Edge building, leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easy to come in this way, secure and all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Faye inside. Truth to be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to the generators and diagnostic slates and the things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Feng leans on the server stack and gestures around. You like it? You owe it. What is all this? He taps on nearby server stack which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove. All dredged up from this sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block, speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station. A1, the one Solheim built. We had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they are seeing a constant, concrete reality. This place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. You are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least, that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? I can see it. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. Then set the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, realign, follow your gaze. Fang notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you're on the run though. They are tracking me. Pass you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see. Access protocols lost to time and decay. Secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Heaven Edge there's old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that track of yours. He winks. What you say, Sleeper? I'm in. Fang pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Fang passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper. And I'll see you soon. You step, blinking back out in the passage. It's flickering light still in the back of your mind. Okay, so we need that, and we had one of those. This gate conceals the network system which has been untouched since the Solheim collapse. Oops. Ah, you're just pressing escape to get out of things. Okay, well we're not gonna get anything of these. Okay. Should I buy this scrap? Yeah, why not? We have 100% here. Yeah, which one was it here, dude? But I did one of these. That's expensive. 69. We have so many things. I mean, I could have put it in there, but put with the winter lights. Oh, we got okay. Something else we can do right now. Do 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 do. Need to eat. Okay, see what the dog has to say. First thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like a cat's eyes in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark and you push through the shielding into the surgery. I have it! Sabine stands with a case open in front of them. A set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. Pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how Yatigan takes trail off. You should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if we have another choice. A gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works on a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. You glance away, at least if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. You begin readying the syringe. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. How sure are you? And let's say I don't have a choice. I think you're right. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. You tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection, but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the site. A fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes wide, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back again to their bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises, like an argument heard from underwater, trickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you. backlit by the glow of the sleigh. Wait? What happened? The stabilizer is genuine. You sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yatigan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you're going to have to do that somewhere else. He gestured to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room and they return to the glowing sleigh. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you have been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get it to your feet and wander out in the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Okay, so now we have to pay 100? Holy shit. Okay. The thing is, we're always gonna have to buy. We're gonna always have to buy food, though, because it takes 2 energy bars down every time we sleep. So let's see. We have a 100% and we have a 2. We could do another list. Oh, these things. This one? Yeah. Solheim Demon attempts to protect the snow. The squeaking out protective protocols like a mantra. That extract. Okay, got the data. We're gonna hand it to our little fella. Get some money. Get 15 credit for that, okay. That's a meal, so that's nice. It pays for a meal if you do that. Okay. He's done. We don't have anything to do here. Yeah, I don't think we can do everything. It feels like we had to pick one or the other. Buy one. Some point. Don't need it right now though. Let's do the winter. More cash. So as of right now, there's nothing for us to do really. No. But to sleep. There we go. We have a lot of dices. So it's worth doing. So one thing is always do the doctor and doing the mark or the food thing pretty quick, so you never run out of energy or get our health back. Whatever. Okay. So we're gonna buy food. That will fill our energy bar all the way. Oop. We have some of this to do. This now is being corrupted contract list, more days. House. This network storage holds copy records, most of them corrupted by failed system. Right. To that point. I don't think any of them have. Okay, let's see then. Yeah, so we'll be to sleep. Up. Okay. To enter the bay, Feng is nowhere to be seen. Banks, servers, and machines blink out to the dark in staccato rhythm, unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Shitheads! Feng's voice echoes from behind the stack, followed by the hammer of a fist on a metal casing. These snake eye shitheads. Who's snake eye? Sleeper! Feng's smiling head pops out from behind the stack. Just the emulated consciousness I've been eager to see. Come back here. Pick your way between the thrumming stacks, trying not to trip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Feng sat in front of a set of monitors, mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Feng waves at a monitor to his side, glowing with pale list of information. You lean in closer, looking for the links in the data. The table seems to be filled with personal information. Names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. Shitheads? Feng laughs. Maybe not all of them, but what kind of shitheads? Solheim. Hey, Orangey. How you doing, buddy? Stevenage? Ah, not quite. Taps at the terminal. All this from the old data I brought in. All employees of the ICE are original owners. Solheim. But it leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one. This is a snaky shithead. He stabs at the screen with a finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. Who's Hardin? That, says Fang, giving a sideways look, is the Fang. He drags a stool out beside him and motions for you to sit. There just happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Stevenage. He waits for your reaction. Are you sure? Well, that's where you might be able to help me. Fang leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on this station as a... Fang leans across to look at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Fang raises his eyebrows at you. Our Hardin was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out to were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept the profit. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back into Solheim. How do you know this? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I am a child of the collapse. Fang turns back to his screen, staring hard at the strings of code flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked on Solheim ships. They breathed Solheim air and slept in Solheim beds. Fang's voice raises as he speaks, his hands fists on the terminal edge. And the work to pay for that existence? The cycles of hard extraction out in the belt. Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing at Hardin once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums. Then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, he's still going, still there, crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. How? These guys? They were big time. There's a lot of money can get you if you're a company man. Fang relaxes a little. But how is Hardin still kicking? I really don't know. He turns to you and smiles. So we're going to find out. Hardin is now a big shot in the shipyards, just a few degrees back around the eye from here. Fang brings up a map of the lower eye. Stevenage might be born out of Erlin's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Hardin happened to float to the top. Fang zooms in on the far yards. Fang grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid and they don't like anyone from systems digging around in the stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Peng holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. Turns the drive between his fingers. It will rip through any digital stories and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on the scent of Hardinghurst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Ben puts a hand on his shoulder. But you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Ben grins. If you can extract yourself a Heaven Edge cipher from a Heaven Edge agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You can crack open the compound's network and slot the worm in through any open port. You never even need to go near the shipyards. So what do you say, up for it? Well, we gotta say here, what's in it for me? Rooting out a corrupt snake, not enough? Find the information and start working on that tracker of yours. Bang scratches at his chin. Anything the worm gets, I'll send it back here to me. There's something wrong here, and I aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Peng digging through data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the eye as it once was, a vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Hardin. A vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems, looking for a new life. The hope of a better future, engineered to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea you're intimately familiar with. You think of Hardin, still alive, still part of this place, and wonder if the past is ever truly past. So, okay, so now we need to find a freaking agent? Have any of these for any of them. I don't have that one. Come on, man. Okay, so I can't do any of that for now. Okay. Can't do this. We are full already. Don't need that. Let's work on this. It's a little bit too much of that one now. One. Okay, squeeze into the office at the entrance to the yard. You lay out everything you have on a winter light across the metal desk. Your makeshift forensic notes glow on Dragos' old writing slate, overlapping lines and scroll annotations. A set of drone scans fill the small terminal with a spectrum of colors, a heat map of damage and decay. A crumbled printout from the office's ship registry lies beside them, synthetic paper so thin it is almost transparent. Look at the printout. A plain list shows the registration history of the Winterlight. The gaps between the entries tantalizingly opaque. His first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station, logged at the central hub. From there, the registry tells the story of a busy ship, one that really stayed on station for more than a few cycles, and often took on voyages that kept it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles. The Winterlight got little rest. The slate. Your attempts at a reconstruction of the Winterlight before its fatal accident consists of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams, showing possible layouts and configurations of the gutted cutter. This was a no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified. Parts were replaced with inventive configurations, the new retrofitted into the old, handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was someone's pride and joy, a lifetime project kept running with care and intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first where the hull had been thickened, the corners rounded to disguise the change, but they are there. Reactor failure. This is the verdict anyone would have returned after a cursory glance at these stacked heat maps of the remains of the Winterlight. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in sections, blotches of color marking the approximate damage the ship sustained. Dominating the view is a single blood-red rose radiating from the ship's fraction drive. Simple story. A catastrophic failure of the drive core, leading to a fatal hull breach. A well-documented failure, likely brought on by wear or misuse. But you aren't looking at the rose of the reactor. You're looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It is thumbprint-sized, delicately placed over the control surface for the ship's main external airlock. It suggests a controlled, shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hull and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You're looking at it because it is troubling you. An old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments tucked away. This was the Winterlight. This was its story. But that's not the full story. Was there something else? It is a little more than a list. A tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's system. The main systems were fried, of course, but the Winterlight had a separate system, one tucked away in one of its hidden compartments. Armored, air-walled. This list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. It details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some of it you don't. Ship mine ROMs, Shimmer, cryo chain codes, and then the final entry. Passenger, sleeper. You stare at the list on the terminal and try not to think about what it was like arriving here. In the cold for so long, half frozen in the freight container. Had this sleeper been smarter? Luckier? How had they convinced the Winterlight, a smuggler's ship if he ever saw one, to extract them from SNR? Luckier, you laugh. There had been no remains found in any of Winterlight's compartments. You had checked. You weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. You hold up a vial of stabilizer to the light. This was all you find in the compartment. A parting gift from SNR. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it back in your pocket. The thought still bothers you though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard. 2, one after the other. It feels wrong. You flick back and forth between data sets on the terminal, thinking. And you see the thumbprint again. The mark of someone trying to get in. Someone who entered the Winterlight with precision and speed, and when they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly the opposite door creaks open. Drago stands in the doorway staring at the equipment and notes you have assembled. What is all this? He snatches a slave from the desk, faster than you realize he can move. You running an investigation here? What am I paying you for? The drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly, his anger passing to it through his implants. Are you hiding something? Hiding something? I'm hiding you, goddammit, and what are you doing for me? Being around in my business? He starts shaking his head. I know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way. He turns away, muttering to himself, this is the last thing I need. This ship had a sleeper on it. Dragos freezes, suddenly angry. What did you say? He pushes past you to look at the terminal, the list. He shakes his head. So what? Aren't all of you trying to escape? You are lucky it was you who made it out alive, not them. He folds his arms indignantly. Drago seems to steady himself and then turns back to you, the heat map of a reactor failure reflected in his headset's glassy eyes. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbles over the words, unsure what to say. There's plenty of others who would have sold you on, turned you in, but not me, no. I appreciate that, but don't. He shakes his head. I'm not discussing my business with you. He quiets the drone. I've done well by you, and you've returned the favor. He straightens up and clears his throat. This obsession you have with this ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you are after. He sighs. You can't work here anymore. I need work. There's plenty of work to be had on the Eye. Salvagers need offloads in the Rotunda, and Yatagan are always looking for crew. And we're not the only show in town. The Dragos reaches across you and flicks off the terminal. As the light of the monitor dies, a kind of eerie calm falls on both of you. Whatever this was, it is done. You made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on. Someone killed that ship and its crew. You want to meet them? He shakes his head. You're done here. In the dark, Dragos' headset glancing, you wish for a moment you could see his eyes and meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get up from the desk and Dragos gathers the notes, stuffing them into a pocket of his overalls. He holds the door for you. His headset is expressionless as always. You can stay in the container. I won't take that from you. Don't come back. His tone is final, definitely with an edge of disappointment. You walk out of the office and then after the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, humming the vial in your pocket, knowing that this, at least, guarantees you a little more time. And as you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the winter light, and whether or not that person will come for you. Okay, we got an upgrade point. Let's see. This costs 2 points, unfortunately, so we don't have that. This one seems to be pretty nice though. Question is how big of a chance we have though. 'Cause it makes us get easy money. We get like a scrap item that we can sell off. Yeah, let's get that one. Okay, so we need to do something here then so we can get a job. You know what? Pay this. 150? Freaking price, man. So this is a place where we can. Okay. Maybe go with the risky one. Yeah, let's see. Say stranded mercenary. Ankita. Hey you! Want to earn a shit? Ankita stands behind a huge pile of tied together hull plates. She stretched out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Make you do? Ankita laughs. This goddamn station. He sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. Alright, come here then. Across the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into two bundles. What is it with this place? She asks as she angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up onto an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Or is it just you all think I'm an easy mark? We all need to survive. Nikita softens. I get it. I do. She shakes her head. But if I could go just one cycle without some jumped up grifter trying to take me for an idiot, then that would be nice. Nikita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. We got to earn those shit. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Nikita gives you a look. Ship's this way. She sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of the stevedores. What's all this for? This? She nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. He gives you another of her looks. It's for the ambergris, the cutter you might have seen sitting silent out there. He rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on our last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from her ship mine. So now she's gone dark. She gives the panels on her shoulder. The upshot is that I'm short one ship mine with a ton of repairs to do. And the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind that I had been stranded. So yeah, Kino time. Anything I can do to help? I don't know. Got a ship mine tucked away on that frame of yours? For a moment, you aren't sure if she is serious. Nikita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She holds the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. Need a hand putting Amber back together. You don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. Passes the bundles of plates through the ambergris's outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Nikita throws you a couple of shits. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, get out of here, she calls back and the lock slams shut. New drive discovered. Okay. Okay, so let's see what do we have here. Okay. Docking memory system. Lock maglock. This old maglocks look they each need an encrypted key to open. Why the heavy security for a decaying dock? We have one. Let's start. This one. Need one more. What do we have here? Overlook bar. Get a drink. Sure, why not? Let's have a drink. Oh, keeps energy. Okay. Didn't know that. Try to keep some inspired and ration behind the bar for. Okay. We don't need that though. Okay, so we know drink gives 1 energy. Waste money or MG getting anything there. We need to buy one more. We're not gonna need to get food for a while. Okay, we are. Yeah, nothing I can do right now. We don't need a stabilizer either, so. Okay, see?